After I got into college, I suddenly gained the ability to see a string of numbers floating above everyone's heads. Those numbers turned out to be their bank account balances. My perpetually broke roommate's balance was 52.30 yuan. The balance of the guy who claimed to be a rich second-generation heir was negative 5,886 yuan. At first, I didn't believe in these numbers at all. That is, until I saw my own balance. It read negative 135 yuan. Then I was completely convinced. It was heartbreakingly accurate. However, when I looked at the poorest girl in our class, I froze on the spot. Floating above her head was a deposit balance of 30 billion. What kind of concept is 30 billion? It's like winning a 5 million yuan lottery every single day. For 16 years straight, she got into college on the highest national financial aid and various other subsidies. She only had a few sets of clothes that were washed until they faded, just the same old t-shirts and jeans. For 3 meals a day, if it wasn't steamed buns, it was the cheapest veggie buns. She'd even gulp down 2 large bowls of the free soup at the cafeteria. Yet someone like her had a 30 billion deposit floating above her head, just as I was thinking there was something wrong with my eyes, or that this ability was glitching out. The class beauty, Lin Weiwei, aggressively yelled at Shen Zhijiao. "Hey, Shen Zhijiao, are you mute? I'm talking to you. If you can't afford to pay for it, get on your knees and wipe my shoes. Otherwise, I'll make sure you can't stay at this school anymore." Only then did Shen Zhijiao look up. Her eyes were filled with a strange, calm indifference. "I'm sorry, I don't have any money." The crowd around them immediately burst into laughter. "Ha! I told you so. What a pathetic pauper! Wei, don't lower yourself to her level. She'll just dirty your shoes." Lin Weiwei's rich boyfriend wrapped an arm around her waist, then shot Shin Zhijiao a look of pure disgust. He pulled a stack of cash from his wallet and threw it on the ground. "Take it. These 2,000 yuan should be enough to feed you for a whole year. Stay the hell away from my Weiwei from now on. Got it?" The stack of bills scattered across the floor, like a resounding slap to Shen Zhijiao's self-esteem. Shen Zhijiao's fists clenched tightly at that moment. I saw the 30 billion figure above her head, seemingly reacting to its owner's emotional turmoil. The light it emitted grew a few shades more blinding. I suddenly found it absolutely ridiculous. A bunch of people whose combined savings couldn't even match her pocket change were standing here mocking a mega-billionaire for being poor. Then, as if possessed, I stepped forward. "Excuse me, classmates. Sorry to interrupt." I pushed through the crowd and stood protectively in front of Shen Zhijiao, blocking those malicious glares. Lin Weiwei frowned at me. "Lan Bai? What are you doing? Trying to play the hero for her?" Lin Weiwei and I had no relationship whatsoever. In fact, because I got the national scholarship that she looked down on the most, she had made snide remarks about me several times. As for me, I couldn't care less about her. I squatted down to pick up the money on the ground for Shen Zhijiao. Then, I shoved the stack of cash right back into that rich kid's hands. I plastered on a professional fake smile. "Hey there, buddy. You dropped your money." The rich kid's face instantly turned as red as a pig's liver. "What's your problem? That's charity for her." I deliberately let out a gasp of surprise and said, "Oh? I thought it just slipped out of your hand." After all, throwing money at people isn't just illegal, it's also incredibly tacky. Like the kind of thing an overnight nouveau riche bumpkin would do. Only they would pull a stunt like this. "Look at you, decked out in designer brands from head to toe. You're not that kind of person, right? You..." The rich kid ground his teeth in anger at my words. Besides, I turned to Lin Weiwei and pointed at her shoes. Her white sneakers had a few drops of milk tea splattered on them. "These shoes are a limited edition from some brand. The retail price is indeed 80,000. But milk tea is water-soluble, a quick wipe with a wet tissue, and it's clean. It doesn't even need dry cleaning. It won't cost a single cent. Yet you're demanding she pay you 80,000 in compensation? That's extortion of a massive sum, enough to land you in prison for a few years." At this point, I paused for a moment, smiling even more cheerfully. "As a law student, I'm just giving you a friendly reminder." Lin Weiwei's face turned pale, then green with rage. She never expected that an ordinary, quiet person who only knew how to bury his head in the library like me could have such a sharp tongue. "Lan Bai, mind your own damn business. She's just a poor loser. Why are you defending her? Don't tell me you have a crush on her." Lin Weiwei was so furious she lost her mind, spouting nonsense without thinking. Before I could even say anything, Shin Zhijiao, who had been silent all this time, suddenly tugged at my shirt. I turned my head, meeting her beautiful eyes. She shook her head, signaling me to let it go. I sighed inwardly. Big sis, what kind of mortal suffering are you trying to experience here? But today, I was absolutely going to meddle in this. I took out my phone, opened the camera, and pointed it straight at Lin Weiwei and her rich boyfriend. Your behavior just now, including verbal abuse and throwing money at someone, shows clear signs of violating another person's dignity. I've recorded it all. Now, you either apologize to Shen Zijiao, or we can take this to the Student Affairs Office, or we could just call the cops directly. You wouldn't dare, Lin Weiwei bluffed, though clearly intimidated. Try me. I smiled and pressed the record button. Whispers and murmurs started rippling through the crowd. After all, bullying a financially struggling student wasn't exactly a good look. The rich kid's expression changed when he heard that. He finally pulled Lin Weiwei's arm. Forget it, Weiwei. Don't bother with trash like them. He didn't want to blow this out of proportion either. Lin Weiwei shot me a vicious glare, then glanced at Shen Zijiao's emotionless face. Finally, she stomped off in a huff. The chaotic drama finally came to an end. The crowd dispersed as well, leaving only me and Shen Zijiao, along with the milk tea stains on her clothes. Thank you. Shen Zijiao softly thanked me. Don't mention it. I put my phone away, replying casually. I was just lending a hand. But you should really stay away from those people from now on. They're as annoying as flies. She didn't say anything. She just looked at me. There was something in her eyes that I couldn't quite understand. Oh, hey, your lunch money. She hesitated for a moment before speaking. I followed her gaze and saw that my lunch tray only had a portion of free soup and 2 veggie buns, because I was completely broke this month. I blushed and hurriedly waved my hands. No need, really. It's fine. I'm on a diet after saying that. I grabbed my diet lunch and bolted. What I didn't see was Shen Zijiao standing behind me, watching my retreating back, a faint smile playing on her lips. She took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello? Uncle Wang, help me look into someone. He's in the law department at my school. His name is Lane Bai. Ever since that incident at the cafeteria, I thought my life would return to normal. But clearly, I underestimated Lin Weiwei's thirst for revenge. Very soon after, a post appeared on the school forum. Breaking news, law department's top student Lan Bai stands up for a poor girl, suspected of a failed pursuit and getting rejected. The post had both a text and photos. It clearly showed me protecting Shen Zijiao. The comments below were even more unbearable to look at. I've been sick of looking at him for a while now, always acting so high and mighty. Turns out, he's into that kind of girl. Little Mayo, I'm dying. He wouldn't suck up to young Master Li with his Ferrari, but he's cozying up to a dirt-poor beggar? Is his brain filled with water? My roommate Chen Qiang was so furious he almost crushed his phone. Are these people's mouths made of shit? Little Bai, let's go find the homeroom teacher and have them delete the post. I just shook my head, calmly scrolling through my phone. It's useless. Even if they delete this one, they'll just post another. Mouths belong to them. Let them say whatever they want. Meanwhile, I looked at the poster's ID and saw his account balance, 345.10 yuan. And as for the trolls echoing him in the comments, their balances basically didn't exceed 4 digits. A bunch of broke losers worrying about a billionaire's business. Why bother stooping to their level? Just as I was thinking that, a WeChat friend request popped up. A plain white profile picture, a single character nickname, Jiao. How did she get my WeChat? After I accepted the request, she immediately sent a message. The forum post has caused you trouble. I'm sorry. I was a bit surprised after reading it. She was actually apologizing for this. I quickly typed a reply. It's fine. I don't mind at all. But what about you? Are you holding up okay? She replied with just 2 words. I'm fine. Even through a screen, I could feel her coldness. That's good then. After I replied, the conversation suddenly fell silent. I didn't know what else to say. She didn't seem like a talkative person either. A long while later, a new message popped up in the chat. Why did you help me? She didn't ask this question when we met face to face. Yet now she was asking over WeChat. I thought for a moment before typing my reply, because I couldn't stand watching it. What they did was way out of line. That was the truth. Even if I didn't know she had 30 billion, I probably still would have stepped up. I might not be anyone special, but I do have this stupid sense of justice. The other side showed typing, but after a long time, she only sent 2 words. Thank you. Right after that, my phone dinged. I received a transfer notification. Jiao has transferred 1,000 yuan to you. My pupils instantly dilated. What the hell is this? I hurriedly messaged her. What are you doing? Lunch money, she replied. I told you I was on a diet, eat properly. Her reply was as brief as ever. What's with this domineering female CEO tone? I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Of course, I hit refund. Are you kidding me? How could I take money from a student in extreme financial hardship? Even though I knew this 1,000 yuan to her was like a single penny, but in the eyes of others, this could be her living expenses for several months. I couldn't let her image collapse. I returned the money and gave her a stern lecture. Listen here, classmate Shen Zijiao. I appreciate the thought, but I absolutely cannot accept this money. Your money comes from financial aid that you worked hard to get. You need to spend it on things that truly matter. Don't go throwing money around just because of some stupid gossip on the forum. It's not worth it. You need to study hard. Once you have a bright future, that will be better than anything else. After sending that message, I felt like an old father patiently lecturing his child. She read it and went silent again. This time, the silence lasted even longer. Just when I thought she wouldn't reply, my phone buzzed. She replied with a simple, "Okay." For some reason, that made me breathe a sigh of relief. I thought that would be the end of it. The next day, I went to my part-time job at the campus cafe, only to find out things weren't that simple. The manager, Sister Wang, pulled me into a corner, looking very uncomfortable. Lan Bei, did you offend someone? My heart skipped a beat. Why? What's wrong, Sister Wang? Sister Wang sighed and said, early this morning, our cafe's major shareholder called. They said they received a complaint. A student reported that you had a bad attitude. They claimed it was ruining the school's reputation. I didn't. I've always been very careful. I immediately protested. I know, you're usually the most hardworking one here, Sister Wang said helplessly. But they're the major shareholder. My hands are tied. Little boy, don't come into work for the rest of the month, okay? Just lay low for a while. I'll settle your wages in a bit. Wasn't this just a disguise firing? The first person that popped into my head was Lin Weiwei. Her rich boyfriend's last name was Lai. His family ran a restaurant chain. It wouldn't be surprising if his family had shares in this cafe. What a ruthless move. I clenched my fist, feeling both angry and powerless. This part-time job was crucial to me. My monthly salary of 1,500 yuan was my main source of living expenses. Now that it was suddenly gone, I didn't even know where my instant noodle money for next month would come from. I trudged out of the cafe. Sitting on a bench outside, I stared at my phone. My account balance was 285.5 yuan. Life just felt completely bleak. Was this the price I had to pay for meddling in other people's business? Just as I was wallowing in self-pity, a figure stopped in front of me. It was Shen Zijiao. Today, she was wearing a clean white dress. Even though you could tell it was quite old, it was neatly ironed. What are you doing here? She asked, holding a thick civil code book in her hands. I just got off work. I forced a smile. She looked at me, then looked at the cafe behind me. It seemed she understood what had happened. She didn't say anything. She just sat down next to me. Neither of us spoke a word, but the atmosphere wasn't awkward at all. Are you sad? After a while, she asked softly. I nodded dejectedly. A little bit, but it's fine. Out with the old, in with the new, right? I'll just find another job. I said it like it was no big deal. But only I knew how hard that would be. There were only a few part-time jobs on campus, and the competition was fierce. Jobs off campus were far away and would affect my studies. I'm sorry, she apologized to me again. Why are you apologizing again? I turned to look at her. This has nothing to do with you. It's Lin Weiwei and her petty friends. It's my own fault for not thinking things through. I didn't expect them to play dirty like this. But Shen Zijiao looked me straight in the eye and said very seriously, it does have to do with me. Her gaze was resolute, making me feel a bit self-conscious. I avoided her eyes and tried to joke around to lighten the mood. Don't overthink it. 30 billion, strong girl. Your most important mission right now is to study hard, become a pillar of society in the future, and piss off all those snobs who look down on people. Fortunately, she didn't seem to mind. She just lowered her head, lost in thought. The air fell silent again. Well, I'm gonna head back. I still need to go job hunting. I stood up, ready to leave this place of drama. Wait, she called out to me. I turned around. I let out a questioning sound. She took out a small, thermos lunchbox from her backpack and handed it to me. What's this? I asked, puzzled. Braised pork. My aunt made it. It's really good. You didn't eat well at lunch today. Take it. Her voice wasn't loud. I looked at the lunchbox, then back at her. She has a maid? Didn't they say she was an orphan? Living off handouts from relatives? Must be one of her kind relatives. That's what I thought to myself. You don't have to. Take it. Her tone left no room for refusal. She pushed the lunchbox right into my hands. Just consider it a thank you gift for helping me. I could feel the warmth of the lunchbox, the delicious aroma of food wafted from it. I looked at her pale, thin face. The words of refusal just wouldn't come out. All right then. Thank you. Hearing that, she gave a faint smile, and then she was gone, in a flash. I carried the box of braised pork, my mind a tangled mess. A rich woman with 30 billion brings me a box of braised pork her aunt made. This whole situation is getting more and more surreal. When I got back to my dorm, the moment I opened the lunchbox, a rich aroma hit my nose. The braised pork, a perfect mix of lean and fat, was stewed so tender it melted in my mouth. Paired with fluffy, fragrant white rice, it was a taste of heaven. I couldn't help but devour the entire box. I even mixed the sauce with the rice and scraped it clean. This was the best meal I'd had all month. Only after I was full did I have the mind to think about work. I opened a few part-time job apps, sent out over a dozen applications, but most of them went unanswered. The next day, while I was studying in the library, my phone suddenly started buzzing like crazy. It was Sister Wang from the coffee shop calling. Her voice was so excited it was almost cracking. Xiao bai. You have to come back to work, I asked, confused. Sister Wang? Didn't I get fired? What do you mean, fired? A misunderstanding. It was all a misunderstanding. Sister Wang's voice was a little sycophantic. The new big boss specifically asked for you to come back and said they want to give you a raise and promote you to assistant manager? A new big boss? I asked, completely shocked. That's right. Our coffee shop was completely bought out yesterday afternoon. The original shareholder, Li, was kicked out without a peep. The new owner's surname is Shen. She personally pointed out that your service attitude is the best, that you're the face of our shop. Shen? My mind exploded. Boom! An image of Shen Zhijiao suddenly appeared in my mind. No way. This is just too over the top. I hung up the phone in a daze. It felt like I was dreaming. Buying an entire coffee shop just because of my part-time job, isn't spending 30 billion a bit too casual? While I was still reeling, my phone pinged again. It was a message from Shen Zhijiao. How's the job hunt going? I stared at the message, my finger hovering over the screen for a long time. I didn't know how to reply. Should I tell her that the coffee shop she just bought asked me to come back, and that I got a promotion and a raise? I was afraid I'd startle her, still looking. I decided to play dumb for now. Shen Zhijiao only replied with one word, so cold. But now, when I look at that, I can't help but feel the aura behind it of a domineering female CEO who has everything under control. Oh, and thank you for the braised pork. It was delicious. I've washed the lunchbox. I'll return it to you tomorrow. I texted my thanks to Shen Zhijiao. Shen Zhijiao still only replied with one word. I put my phone down and let out a long sigh. The way things were unfolding was completely beyond my control. A secret tycoon, because of my small act of kindness, has started to use methods I can't possibly comprehend to quietly insert herself into my life. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? All I know is that from now on, I can no longer see her as just an ordinary, poor student. The next day, I returned to the coffee shop with mixed feelings. The atmosphere in the shop had completely changed. The way all my coworkers looked at me was filled with reverence and a desire to please. Sister Wang, especially, treated me like her own son, asking after me, bringing me tea and water. Bye. From now on, you're the assistant manager. If you need anything, just tell me what to do. Hearing that, I was both flattered and terrified. Sister Wang, please don't be like this. I'm still the same person. No, it's different. Sister Wang beamed, her eyes crinkling. I figured they probably thought I had some kind of connection with that mysterious boss, Shen. In the afternoon, while I was working behind the counter, someone walked into the shop. Out of habit, I looked up and said, "Welcome." Then I froze. It was Shen Zhijiao. She was still dressed as simply as ever, completely out of place with the shop's bourgeois atmosphere. But the moment she appeared, the air in the entire shop seemed to freeze. Sister Wang was the first to react. She shot forward like an arrow, her face plastered with a professional smile. "Hello, miss. How many in your party?" Shen Zhijiao didn't look at her. Her gaze fell directly on me. "I'm here for him." Sister Wang followed her gaze and saw me. The expression on her face immediately became indescribable. I had no choice but to step forward, bracing myself. What? What are you doing here?" "I came to get my lunchbox. She held out her hand to me. Hearing that, I froze for a few seconds. Then I quickly said to her, "Oh, right. I immediately went to the back to get the lunchbox and gave it to her. At that moment, I felt like all the eyes around us were like spotlights shining right on the two of us. "Do you want anything to drink? My treat," I whispered to her. "After all, I'm the assistant manager now and I got a raise. I can still afford to buy you a cup of coffee." But she just shook her head. "No, thank you." Then she looked at me very seriously and asked, "Are you getting used to work